Well, thank you, Peter Burns. You're watching SEC football presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. A gorgeous night here down on the Bayou as you are looking at the SEC's version of the Roman Coliseum as they continue their 100-year celebration of playing football inside Tiger Stadium. LSU and South Alabama about to get after it on an SEC Saturday night for the first ever meeting between these two clubs. It is a gorgeous evening for some football and a homecoming of sorts for that man, Major Applewhite, as the Tigers hit the field. There is nothing like college football. When you expect things, they don't come to fruition, as we have learned today. Dave Neal, Aaron Murray, so glad you could join us. And certainly, Aaron, this LSU team, they lose their opener to USC, a game that they feel they should have won. But since then, they've rattled off 3 consecutive wins. As we're a month into the season, what do you make of LSU right now?
I think it's a really good football team. Obviously, offensively, we knew things would pick up very similar to how they finished off last season. You have an experienced quarterback that has played multiple times over the past couple of years. Receivers are great. Maybe one of the best offensive lines in America. All eyes were going to be on the defense side of the football. New DC Baker comes in. Can those guys step up and start performing on that side of the football? It hasn't been smooth just yet, but when you turn on the tape, they play fast, they play hard, they play physical. It's going to be a big opportunity here this evening.
Well, certainly when LSU plays every Saturday night, they're going to bring one of the best quarterbacks in America onto the football field, Garrett Nussmeier, who is having a heck of a season, top 10 in so many categories around the country. Maybe he's not getting the attention he deserves, but regardless, he's out here to win some ball games.
Well, it's hard to get all the attention when you have so many premier passers in the SEC, but he throws it with anticipation. The coach has told us there's not a throw that he does not think that he can complete down the football field. The accuracy, the footwork, and then throwing the ball vertically to these star receivers on the outside. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this evening.
Let's head down to the sidelines, check in with Ashley Shamity, who has Brian Kelly alongside.
All right, Coach Kelly, you've got a young defense, and this week, obviously, losing the veteran Harold Perkins Jr. What do you want to see from your guys on that side of the ball early with a team that really loves to score?
Fundamentals. I mean, if we just put our cleats in the ground, I know this sounds coach speak, but run fast, you know, and for us, it's been big plays and just play with great leverage. If our kids just compete, play fast, tackle, play with great leverage, we're going to be fine.
Coach, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Coach. There's Major Applewhite, who's come home. Played his high school football right here in Baton Rouge. Said he went to so many games here at Tiger Stadium when he was a youngster, but now gets to coach on the opposite sideline, so a big night for him. But we talk about offense, though. He's bringing in a red-hot group.
This team right now, last 2 weeks, these are the numbers, 87 points and then 48 points. They've been red hot, and it starts with their star quarterback, Gio Lopez, the lefty, throws with great anticipation, timing, and then the freshman running back, Fluff Bothwell. He is dynamic, he's thick, great balance, and they can make big plays down the football field. The explosiveness, you don't score that many points if you're not throwing the ball vertically down the field, if you're not making guys miss in the open field as well. So we talk about LSU struggling a little bit defensively. This is going to be a big-time matchup. See if they can slow down this offense.
And there is the man that will run the show at quarterback, Gio Lopez for South Alabama. South Alabama won the toss. They defer, so LSU will get the football first on a gorgeous night as LSU under the lights, 108-15 here in Tiger Stadium. Again, celebrating 100 years of football in this magnificent palace. Great crowd on hand for this non-conference matchup. Over 100,000 in attendance tonight. They've been tailgating all day. It's just been a gorgeous day as we are set for some football here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Josh Williams, Xavion Thomas back to return the kick for the Tigers. Of course, Thomas, so dynamic, freshman All-American. A couple of years ago as a kick returner at Mississippi State. Has since obviously transferred here to Baton Rouge and awaiting this pigskin. We are underway under the lights at LSU. Taken by Thomas. Javion runs into his own man at the 15. And he will get it out to the 25-yard line. Ran a long way. But sets up his team in decent field position as Garrett Nussmeier hits the field. I mean, 70% completing passes this year. Last week, 32 of 44, 352, 3 touchdowns, and no picks.
I mean, LSU is slowly becoming like quarterback U, what we've seen from this position over the past 5 or 6 years. And you know, he's a guy that's played a lot of football. Go back to the SEC championship game a couple years ago. Go against Georgia. He can fling it now, man. Like I love watching his footwork in the pocket. He's got a great offensive line, great receivers on the outside to help him out.
Well, Caden Durham, the true freshman out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, who's had a few highlight reel plays, gets to start in the backfield. They will swing it to him. He's to the 30, to the 35. He'll have a first down. Speaking of highlight reel plays, we've got one on the opening play of the game. Touchdown, LSU. 71 yards.
Dave, you want big plays down the field, you got to be able to block at the second and third level, and we take replays of this one. Receivers, tight ends, blocking, secondary players, springs the running back for a big touchdown.
Ramos with the point after, it's up and good. That didn't take very long. Nussmeier with his 14th touchdown pass of the season.
Oh, look at Mason Taylor on the outside, the tight end known for catching the football. Taking the block one-on-one. Then the receiving core, Kyle Parker, number 12, holding up number 4, C.J. Daniels. And then the freshman running back with the speed does the rest from there, taking it to the house call. They said they want more explosive plays. We thought we'd get some shots on the field, not first play of the game.
Durham, of course, had a 35-yard touchdown reception last week against UCLA. The second touchdown reception of the season for the youngster. 5'9", 205, and get used to that name. Voisin and Sandgren back to return the kick. Aaron Burrell will kick it off. Man, he has got some sort of leg in him. This one will sail through the back of the end zone and out to the 25-yard line. So we'll see how South Alabama responds with their offense that has been really solid, especially the last couple of weeks. They come in 2-2 behind their quarterback, Gio Lopez, who missed one of those games with turf toe, but he's averaging 15 yards per completion this year. He's completing 62% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but he can also run it. Last week had 103 yards on the ground. Played some late last year, actually played in the bowl, played in the bowl game and was the bowl game MVP and got the job to start this season. The redshirt freshman out of Madison, Alabama. They'll swing it. Jamal Pritchett with the catch, and he's out over the 30 to the 31-yard line. That'll be a gain of 6 on first down.
Well, they're going to do a variety of things offensively to protect their quarterback this evening. It's going to be quick throws like that, move in the pocket, getting him on the run. One of the best throwers on the move in all of college football.
Kentrell Bullock, the transfer from Ole Miss, in the game at running back. They'll fake it to him. Lopez takes it himself, and he'll have it out close to the 40. He'll spot him at the 39, but good enough for a first down. Braden Swinson finally drags him to the turf.
That's a beautiful, what we call like the triple option, the new age triple option. You can hand the ball off. You can kind of flick it to the flat to receiver. And then he actually had a lead blocker, tight end coming from left to right as well, leading the charge. So 3 options, picks the run, utilizes his legs, like you talked about, Dave, to get the first down.
Jamar Sandgren goes in motion, looking that way. Pass is caught by Sangren. He is out over the 45 to the 47-yard line. Deshaun Spears, one of those half a dozen freshmen playing defense, makes the tackle. We'll see. There's a chance we could see 3 or 4 true freshmen playing for LSU today on the field at the same time.
I know. Maybe even up to 5 guys total in this football game. You'll see true freshmen for LSU. A lot of youth, a lot of guys they're excited about that continue to develop.
Second down and 2.5. They'll lose a couple of yards. They went with Bullock, but Ahmad Bro steps in there. Speaking of freshmen, there's one of those true freshmen now with his 5th stop of the year.
Ahmad Bro, 245 in the springtime. He was playing defensive end. They decided to move him into the defensive tackle position. Gained 40 pounds. Dave, I wish I could gain 40 pounds and it looked that good. Willie's found a home on the inside of that defensive line.
Now it's 3rd down and 5. South Alabama's been pretty good at 45% clip on converting 3rd downs. They will run it here. And there's not a whole lot of room for P.J. Martin. He will get back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. And here comes the Jaguar punting team.
Savion Jones, number 35, playing right defensive end. Does a good job taking on the puller, not trying to get around him, but one-on-one hitting him in the hole, making the running back bounce to the outside, and the rest of the LSU defense able to pounce and get off the football field.
Thomas back to return this punt. He stands at the 10-yard line. Fair catch called for and taken by Thomas. The sun setting over the mighty Mississippi. 7-0 LSU out in front. You're watching SEC football presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. LSU on their opening play from scrimmage goes 71 yards. Nussmeier hits Caden Durham on a short pass that he took the distance. And then LSU's defense forces a South Alabama punt. Tigers with their 2nd possession of the game. LSU last week against UCLA, first time all year, they didn't have a single 3-and-out offensively. Mason Taylor goes in motion, sets up on the left side. They'll hand it off inside, and here goes Durham again. Does he do it on back-to-back plays to the 15, to the 10, to the 5 guys? They will spot him inside the 1. Ladarius Webb Jr. chases him down, but 86 yards.
Explosive plays, explosive plays, explosive plays. This was the thing when we talked to the entire coaching staff yesterday, and they get 2 right off the bat to start this game. Will Campbell, the star, maybe the best left tackle in all of college football, gets to the 2nd level to spring the running back. I think you're going to take a look and see if he gets in the end zone.
The ball on the field was a player who was short of the goal line. The previous play is under further review.
Boy, his knee went down between the 1 and the 2. I tell you what, he may have gotten across that goal line with the extra effort.
Pylon cam look. Oh.
Maybe we can freeze it when we see the knee hit the ground and where the football was.
It's going to be hard to overturn that one. Looks like he's right down. Yeah, I think he's down about the half-yard line, Dave.
Yeah. I think that's going to be spotted just inside the 1-yard line. But how about Caden Durham? 71 yards on the first play. Goes 86 on that one.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. 1st and goal for LSU.
Now you got to give him the football after you just went 86, right? You got to let him finish this off.
Well, he's got a little bit of a break now too. Got a little breather, get a little composure, and then now get on the field and finish it off with what I would anticipate another downhill zone.
Yeah, he's definitely short of the goal line as we freeze both of those angles. So Durham back at it, tailback. Nussmeier under center, keeps it himself. Bulldozes his way off the right side. Touchdown LSU. Went behind Dellinger, B.J. Chester, Miles Frazier, and they pick up the 6.
Well, the big thing that we're looking for in a game like this is just bigger bodies on smaller bodies, whether it's the offensive line, we saw the receivers, and Mason Taylor on the outside as we go back and look at the little tush push getting in the end zone for Garrett Nussmeier. But right now, LSU, through 3 plays, getting it done in the blocking game, whether it's in the inside or on the perimeter. It started with the big run. Will Campbell with a nice block. Off to the races goes the young freshman, but he just can't get in. Gets to the half-yard line. And then Garrett Nussmeier does the rest. 14-0 LSU.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Get internet how you want it.
College Town. Might as well call it Durham Town right now. I'll tell you, it's a pretty good night for Caden Durham, the true freshman running back. Matter of fact, LSU's 2 touchdowns on 3 plays. Tonight was the first time LSU has scored on their first offensive play of a game since 1982. Dalton Hilliard had a 16-yard run versus Ole Miss, which came after an Ole Miss fumble on the opening kickoff. And this one sails through the back of the end zone. Time to get an update. Let's head back to the studio. PB, what's on tap?
Thank you, Dave. Time for the road to the championship, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Alabama and Georgia in T-Town, and, well, looking pretty good. Jalen Milroe, 3 for 3 in the first drive. Easy touchdown, tied up 7-0. How about Caden Durham looking like a young Justin Vincent right now, former LSU stud running back?
Yes, good call. Justin Vincent went on to lead that team to an SEC championship game and had a fantastic run as a freshman. Just never really got it going the same way after that unbelievable freshman season. You see what South Alabama can do here. Cliff Bothwell, the true freshman on the other side, gets the carry. Robbie Zell, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for South Alabama. Of course, an Alabama Crimson Tide, former player with the Tide. Spent some time with the Tide on their staff. Been here a couple of times. Says this is one of those venues you just don't forget when you roll in here. On 2nd down and 8. There's some movement. That will not make Robbie Zell very happy.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. It is 2nd down.
Well, this is the type of game that this staff knows you have to play clean. They've done a good job this year. Penalties, no turnovers. Absolutely, with it, now they're throwing the football, especially pushing it down the field. Knock on wood, 0 turnovers, 0 interceptions on the season for the Jaguars.
So now 2nd down and 13. 4-man rush. Lopez. Big collision at the 28, falls forward to the 30. Hit by Whit Weeks, the sophomore linebacker out of Watkinsville, Georgia, just outside of Athens. Boy, the coaching staff loves what he brings to the table. Now they're going to really count on Whit Weeks without Harold Perkins in the lineup.
Well, they're going to count on him in this situation. 3rd down, you found ways to get Harold Perkins involved in the blitz game. Now with Harold out, Whit Weeks is going to be that guy. How do you get him matched up, whether it's against a coverage or blitzing, to be able to get after the quarterback? He is now their guy.
Bothwell in it, running back. On a third down, Lopez over the middle. That one is incomplete, off the fingertips of Jamal Pritchett, their leading receiver. 26 catches on the season. Couldn't hold on to that one.
You don't see Gio Lopez missing many passes like that. You want to get man coverage and just a simple mesh concept. 2 crossing routes over the middle of the field. They get the quote-unquote rub, and the receiver comes open. You just got to put that right on of him. See if he can get north and get the first down.
Thomas trying to return this one. He is met immediately back around the 21-yard line, and that is where LSU will take over. Nussmeier's going to have to wait a moment. Was ready to go. Why not? 2 touchdowns in 3 plays. Caden Durham, the true freshman, has been the story early in this one. Starts the game off 71 yards. Of course, has some track type speed, consistently clocked inside of 10.5 in the 100 meters. Mom was a track star, and you can see some of that here, but ran out of gas on this 86-yard run. Got caught inside the 1. LSU stuffed it in the very next play. But you're looking at one of the nation's top running backs in last year's class, a 4-star, top 10 running back in the country. Let's go down to Ashley on the sidelines.
Well, guys, I talked to veteran running back Josh Williams about Durham. Just asked him, how much confidence do you have in this kid? And he said, look, he is so versatile, fast. He showed flashes of this all summer and fall. They had confidence in this guy before the season even started. He's also said he kind of took Durham under his wing a little bit. Sits next to him in meetings. They're roommates during travel. He said he's really been helping him out with some of the plays and just teaching him some of the offense. But clearly this kid doesn't need too much help, guys.
Thanks, Ashley. Nice completion there from Nussmeier. Incompletion. Ball will be at the 31-yard line. Second down and 10. Anderson goes in motion. Nussmeier looking that way. Pump fakes a couple of times. Here's Durham on a little dump off. And he will have the first down at the 45-yard line. Boyson comes up to make the play for South Alabama, but that's a 15-yard pickup.
Well, he wanted to throw the sail route and was just about to rip it and sees the corner Webb drop off, and smart, wise decision taking the check down for the get the first down. And this is what they like to be, Dave. Play with a little bit of pace, get to line of scrimmage, dictate the tempo to the defense.
Little play action. Nussmeier all day to throw. Wide open. C.J. Daniels down to the 25-yard line. That's a gain of 29 for the Tigers.
We're just going to get a double post with a deep cross. Just high, low in the flat, defender to the left. He takes the running back in the flat and then beautifully thrown football across the field.
First down and 10. Handoff Durham left side inside the 20 now. Tripped up by the freshman Amarian Fortenberry out of Columbia, Mississippi.
Well, it's an offense that they're known for throwing the football from a year ago to the start of this year, but really trying to create some balance and emphasis, especially this week, of not just running the counter, but zone some powers as well.
Nussmeier, bootleg out here to the near side, and a pass right through the hands of Kyle Parker.
Good coverage on the outside with Darius Webb, number 7. You get a bootleg with a comeback. It's going to be your third option as the quarterback. Nothing else open down the field. Clean play by the corner to be able to get in there with the right hand and distract the receiver to knock that ball away.
Good to see Parker back out there. Missed a couple of games, injured in the opener versus USC, but had a reception last week for 45 yards. Josh Williams in at running back. They'll fake it to him and get it to Anderson. He'll have the first down. They'll spot him at the 12. Picks up 7.
Just your run pass option. 2v2 on the outside with the safety about 10 yards deep. Just catch it. Fleeing out there, you got to throw those with accuracy. They got to put it in a spot where your receiver can catch it and roll.
See what this flag is all about. Matt Leffler, our referee today.
after the play was over. Personal foul, number 77 on the offense. The line to gain was made, so therefore it'll be 1st and 10 after the 15-yard penalty.
That looks like Will Campbell, 66.
Well, the only guy in the building that's really super excited that it was the wrong number was Campbell. They didn't have to call his number over the PA system for the personal foul. Handoff inside the 25, down to the 23. Ed Smith trips him up. The one area that's really been a concern for South Alabama defensively, they've given up 270 yards a game through the air. That's 117th in the country.
Well, they play a lot of zone covers. They try to keep everything in front, and usually, too, it's a 3-3-5 base defense. And that last play got more into a 4 down front. Maybe bring some more bigger bodies in there to slow down this run game for LSU.
Hand it off. Josh Williams. He'll have the first down. Boyson drags him to the turf. But Williams, the graduate, the 6th-year LSU Tiger player, picks up the first down after a 12-yard gain.
I'll tell you what, Will Campbell, I know he got the penalty a couple plays ago, but he is playing like he wants to hurt someone in a good way, of course, on the outside right now for LSU, that offensive line, punishing defenders on his way to the second level.
Will Wyndham, the defensive coordinator, trying to dial something up here to slow down this LSU offense on 1st down and 10 from the 12. Nussmeier looking to the right. Pass is caught. They will stop forward progress around the 8-yard line. Parker makes the catch. Ladarius Webb with the tackle.
This is when the size advantage for LSU really comes into play. South Alabama, a little bit on the smaller end of the secondary. LSU has some tall receivers, can win some one-on-one matchups. Garrett wants to take some chances against man coverage.
Durham, inside handoff, driving toward the goal line. Touchdown, LSU. Second touchdown of the game for the youngster Durham. There's the drive, 11 play, 79 yards, over 4 minutes off the clock. Point after is up and good. Durham, 4 carries, 110 yards.
Dellinger, the left guard. We talk about Will Campbell. We talk about the tackles all the time. We're calling Emory Jones, but look at him get to the second level and continue to drive and drive and drive and drive all the way into the end zone, helping Durham get his second touchdown of the evening. This offensive line right now asserting their will against the South Alabama defensive line.
Durham, a couple of state championships. Went to Duncanville High School in Texas. Calls Oklahoma City his home. Thought we might see a little bit more of Caden Durham, but he has been the feature back here in the first quarter. Nothing LSU out in front. This has been the perfect start for Brian Kelly and his LSU team. They have had some struggles in the first half this year, but not tonight. Time for another update. PB, what's going on?
As it is for Durham right there at LSU, off to 21-0 after a interception of Carson Beck. Jeremy Bernard. That's not a typo. 21-0. Hit the Nintendo reset button, Georgia. What's happening?
Let me ask the guy to my right what's happening.
I guess nothing good for the Dogs in Tuscaloosa is what's happening right now. My goodness, 21-0. Dogs down is a little shocking.
Hey, long way to go. Stay positive, Mr. Negativity over there to my right. Handoff goes to Kentrell Bullock, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage. I'm telling you, man, this is why I love college football. Today is a classic example of that. You just, when you think something's expected, the unexpected happens.
Well, I think this year, too, it just seems like everyone's somewhat beatable. That's for sure. Like, anyone can be beat. Obviously, perfect example, Kentucky taking down Ole Miss at that noon slot earlier this afternoon.
Well, sidearm toss by Lopez. They hit Pritchett with it. Here's a big gainer. Pritchett out to midfield, and he's tripped up there. So the best gain of the night. Major Burns comes up to make the play on the defensive end, but not before Pritchett goes 25 yards.
Look at the perfectly thrown football. Then you love when big guys get out moving down the field. And Pritchett's someone that they say, like, hey, you put him in a phone booth, very difficult to tackle. How can he get him the football as much as possible?
Lopez throws near side, pass caught there by Bullock. Greg Penn III with the stop.
Oh, they're going to run that mesh concept again, and they get LSU in a man-to-man situation, and your running back is your first guy. If you like him, you take him. And if the linebacker goes over top of the rub route, you want to put the ball on the running back right now. Gio sees the linebacker over the top, puts it on him. Nice completion on first down.
On second down, big hole. Close to a first down goes Bullock. Hit there by P.J. Woodland. They're going to spot him just shy. It'll be third and about a half a yard for South Alabama.
Well, this is the kind of drive they need for South Alabama. Get the explosive play in the pass game. Start to calm down a little bit. I know it's a little stressful. You look up and it's 21-0. And it's still the first quarter. Your defense really has not helped you out at all. But you can only focus on what you can do. And for Gio, who's having a great season right now, quarterback, is just take completions, and convert the first down here.
And it to Fluff-Both. Well, the freshman, he's tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. It was Whit Weeks comes flying in there to make the play.
Who's going to replace Harold Perkins in the third down package? It's going to be number 40. You see him creeping up. Gets underneath that left tackle. Jordan Davis, who is the best blocker on this offense, be able to make the play in the backfield.
Fourth down and 2 now. South Alabama going to go for it. Lopez dumps it off underneath. First down. It goes to Pritchett, and he is inside the 35 down to the 32-yard line. An 8-yard gain on fourth down and 2. Sage Ryan finally brings him to the turf.
I like the decision here. You got to go for it. Obviously, kind of no-man territory. Down 21 points on the road to LSU. Big hit by Jardine Gilbert coming up from the safety position. But continue to find ways just to get your quarterback, Gio Lopez, on the move. And anytime you get number 2 the football, good things seem to be happening here in the first quarter.
Lopez flushed out of the pocket, rolling right, looking. He will keep it himself, and looks like he might get a yard or 2 out of that before Greg Penn chases him out of bounds. Gio Paez, 6'3", 305 in the middle of that lineup for LSU, the graduate. Transferred in from Wisconsin, anchoring the middle of that line of scrimmage. Bothwell, nowhere to go. LSU's front, handling that line of scrimmage. Whit Weeks coming in to make the play.
Well, I said this at the open day, but like, you turn on the tape, and yeah, execution at times has been a little bit iffy. More of an issue, I would say, in the back end of this defense. Guys not playing with really good leverage and allowing receivers to come open, the soft spots of the defense. But this front seven, they're big, they're fast, they're physical. You've seen it all season long, and you're seeing it here in the first quarter.
I think South Alabama is going to let this clock run out, force the end of the first quarter. That is what they will do. So the Jaguars moving the football. They're at the 31-yard line, but a big third down coming up. This has been all LSU from the outset. A couple of touchdowns for that young man, Caden Durham.
Here with Major Applewhite and Coach, where are the breakdowns happening defensively for those explosive plays for LSU?
Well, the first play was position on the outside, the perimeter. We just got to be able to stay outside and hold leverage. Second play, we got cut out of our gap. Backers got to play his position. You know, just 2 plays, over 150 yards and points. Can't come out the gate like that, obviously.
How do you want to see this offense kind of get rolling a little bit more?
Yeah, we need to convert this third down and start trading some points here.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
And they did not convert the third down. A little shovel pass, and there's Whit Weeks again. The team's leading tackler coming into this game with 30 stops. They just say he just loves ball.
Well, it just comes right underneath. Once again, just sees it, diagnoses the offensive play so well. A lot of things are going on in his face. Wins the one-on-one battle, then makes another tackle in the backfield on a third down situation. Just an NFL body, NFL linebacker. And still very green in his playing career here in LSU.
Late margin to attempt this field goal, 5 of 6 on the year. This one is on the way, and it is good. From 49 yards out, his previous season high was 39 against North Texas. So South Alabama gets on the board with 3.
It's a nice drive, nice quick hitters. You saw Gio move throughout that possession as well, get him outside the pocket.
21-3. We'll be right back after a quick message from Academy Sports and Outdoors.
There's something special about this time of year. It's fun. And it all starts here. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there.
Well, if you're that man right there, you got to be happy you got some points on the board. We heard him tell Ashley just a couple of plays. Can't afford breakdowns against a team like LSU offensively. Look at the total yardage for LSU in that first quarter. 252 yards.
18 per play. They're getting an explosive play every single time someone touches the football.
This kick will settle to Thomas at the 2-yard line. There was a major block that springs Thomas. Thomas to the 35, and he trips up to the 40. Boy, Thomas is something special in the return game. That one goes 39 yards. And here comes Garrett Nussmeier, 5 of 7, 126 yards and a touchdown. Last play actually took some time off the clock, over 4 minutes on that 11-play touchdown drive. 252 yards in the first quarter, the most for LSU since September of 2019 against Vanderbilt when they put up 261. Nussmeier going for the big play up top, and he will overthrow his intended receiver, Kyron Lacey.
Well, it's one-on-one inside post. Kyron Lacey is going to go against Wesley Miller, and Miller does a good job with staying on top of the route. How many times have we seen LSU receivers, especially Kyron Lacey, get on top of safeties and defenders right there? These guys, like I said, are going to play a lot of soft zone, trying to keep everything in front. Easier said than done, but good job there defensively by the safety.
2nd down and 10. There goes Durham out over the 43 to the 44-yard line. Amari and Fortenberry on that stop. LSU rushing up to 130 yards today. In the first game against Southern Cal, they had 113. Against Nicholls State, 68. South Carolina, they had 132. Last week, they had 102. So today, way ahead of the curve. Empty set. Caden Durham splits out wide. Now he comes in motion toward the formation.
Well indicated there, man zone. Gonna get zone coverage here.
Pressure comes. LSU picks it up. Nussmeier. Pass is caught. That one goes to Kyron Lacey. Kept moving the feet. He'll spot him near the 20-yard line. Blaine Myron finally brings him down, but a pickup of 36.
It's 7-on-7, sitting there, beautiful pocket, and that was a sexy route from Kyron Lacey on the outside. Gonna do a corner stop, puts the DB on skates, catches it, and then the yards after the catch as well. But life is good when you got a clean pocket, and right now Garrett Nussmeier with those tackles.
The previous play is under further review.
I think they're saying that Lacey may have stepped out of bounds, perhaps closer to the 30.
I don't know. He's wearing the purple cleats, so we should be able to see maybe right there, 31.
It's hard to say that's that's not a real definitive look from that angle, but yeah, there it is, the right heel. Looks like that is definitely out of bounds around the 31-yard line.
Stepped out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Ball be spotted there, 1st and 10.
So back him up 11 yards. You see Lacey's numbers on the year. 5 TD receptions, 1st in the Southeastern Conference, 4th in Division I football. Now in his 3rd year at LSU. Transfer in from Louisiana. Little reverse. Thomas has some blockers. Thomas to the 15, to the 10. Knocked out of bounds inside the 5. Boy, Mason Taylor again out there making another great block on the outside.
Well, look at number 50, Emory Jones, too, the big right tackle. We talk about Will Campbell, and Emory Jones says, I can get up to the 2nd and 3rd level as well. And then, as you said, 86 Mason Taylor, who could have a big night tonight. Just need one more catch for one more yard. Has not been involved in the pass game just yet, but has sprung some of these receivers and running backs for some pretty decent size gains in the run game.
Taylor has 99 career receptions for 999 yards. Nussmeier, big hole up the middle. He'll walk it into the end zone.
Well, they're so worried about these receivers. You're going to get double teams, brackets on the outside, and just not enough defenders inside the box. Right there, 6 blockers for 5 defensive players. Even Dave Neal could have walked himself into the end zone right there for the touchdown.
That was somewhat sarcastic, wasn't it?
No, I was being serious. You really could have walked in for that touchdown.
Let me just see that one more time to see if I literally could have walked it in there. Something tells me
easy.
I might have been caught around the 5, but Nussmeier, not so much. It is all LSU. Back here at Tiger Stadium, LSU out in front 28-3. LSU with 312 yards of offense. Garrett Nussmeier, 6 of 9 for 151, a touchdown. Also just rushed one in from 6 yards out. LSU's offense was looking for some big plays. They have found it. This kickoff will sail through the back of the end zone once again. Well, boy, today got started in fine fashion. A fantastic game in Oxford, Mississippi, and Kentucky shocks the 6th-ranked Rebels 20-17. And how about Arkansas? Had a chance in Jerry's world, but Texas A&M found a way. A huge win for the Aggies. And boy, Auburn, man, they are snake bit. They had a chance to win that one late. Oklahoma finds a way to win. Texas behind 300-plus yards throwing from Arch Manning knocks off Mississippi State. It has just been a wild and crazy day around college football. Lopez lost it up to Bothwell, who makes the catch and is tackled around the 31-yard line. Greg Penn, the third. We had Kentucky last week, and we felt like their defense was really good. That game couldn't have gone any better if you're Coach Stoops.
Well, listen, 40 minutes of possession time to 20 minutes for Ole Miss. That was the recipe. Keep their offense off the field. It's a really good Kentucky defense. And Ole Miss, man, I thought that offense line was improved. Kentucky really exposed those guys up front.
On second down, handoff goes to Fluff Bothwell. Fluff having a great start to his collegiate career. Came in 359 yards on the ground with 6 touchdowns, averaging almost 10 yards per carry, leading the Sun Belt Conference in rushing. See what he did against Northwestern State, and then last week against App State, 14 for 116. Bothwell comes in motion, splits out to the far side of the field. Flag down in the backfield. This pass batted in the air and almost intercepted over there. But we'll wait on that flag. Trying to hit Shamar Sandgren. Hands to the face, perhaps.
Personal foul, hand to the face. Number 79, offense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It is first down.
Well, that's their stud on the left side, Jordan Davis.
And Lord, he's their guy. One-on-ones, running the football. They're going to rely on number 79. And you see that right paw goes right to the face mask of the LSU defender.
Redshirt junior out of Fairburn, Georgia, transferred in from South Carolina. Pass is caught there by Jeremiah Webb. He's out over the 20. Not a whole lot happening on that play.
Greg Penn Jr. diagnosing it, kind of anticipating, hey, they're going to try to do something real quick. They've been doing this the majority of the game, getting the quarterback on the move, quick hitters, see if they can get some of that penalty yardage back, and the inside linebacker flies out to make the tackle. I just want to see this defensive line. It has been really impressive early on this season. See if they can pin back in after the quarterback.
Penn having a good first half with 6 tackles. 3 of those are solo stops. Lopez just throws it down. Not much happening there offensively for South Alabama.
Well, he had a shot
looking
there.
at a 3rd and 24.
He actually had a shot, Dave. Little wheel route going on the run. Inside receiver is going to fake out and up. Sandgren, and it was wide open towards the sideline for a big completion. One of the rare misses from Lopez, just doesn't see his receiver down the field, has to just dirt the football.
They got to get it all the way out to the 46-yard line. Kentrell Bullock in the backfield now. They'll hand it off to Bullock. He's out over the 30. Major Burns there to make the stop, but it'll be 4th down. Major Burns, by the way, first name Major. You know who he's named after? Major Applewhite. His parents, the story goes, were at a Texas A&M Texas football game, and Major was in his mama's belly, and she loved hearing Major, the name Major, over the loudspeakers, and felt like, my boy, when he gets to be in college, I'm going to want to hear that over the loudspeakers, so named him Major after Major Applewhite.
It's a strong, strong name, that's for sure.
Fair catch called for by Thomas. We'll talk more about Major Applewhite when we come back. 28-3 LSU out in front. Well, for Major Applewhite, he's coming back home. Went to Catholic High School here in Baton Rouge from 1998 to 2001. Was their quarterback, threw for 50 touchdowns. Matter of fact, he was looking at these highlights last night when we were meeting him, and he brought up the fact that he hit one against Ryan Clark, our partner at ESPN, and played at LSU. Outstanding. He said Ryan's still mad about one of those touchdowns that he gave up to Major Applewhite. But born right here in Baton Rouge, says he came to a bunch of games. Actually grew up an Alabama fan because his parents were Alabama fans, but rooted for LSU any other time. Would come here, sit in the south end zone, watch some ball, and talking about one of the last games he saw in here was Tim Couch and Craig Yeast for Kentucky putting up some big numbers. Let's go down to Ashley.
That's right, guys. He was just telling us this is the first time he has been back in this stadium since that LSU Kentucky game, his redshirt freshman year. He actually had a bye week, so he was able to be here. I thought it was so interesting, though, that he is an Alabama fan, his family as well. But, man, he just watching him look at his old high school highlights and the fact that they honored him at the high school homecoming game last night, the Grizzly Greats, they call him. He said, man, it was good to be back, and he's really taken it all in, I think.
Yeah, I didn't really want to talk a whole lot about it. Just wanted to come here and play some football, but it's hard to get away from the fact that you're coming back home.
Oh, yeah, you go back home, everyone knows. We talk to people around the city today about, hey, major back. So a little pressure there on Nussmeier. Not used to getting hit this season with that offensive line. Good coverage on the back end, no one open, just has to throw it to the foot of his running back coming out of the backfield.
Josh Williams in the backfield to the left of Nussmeier. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field. On 3rd down and 5. Long throw, and it's caught there by C.J. Daniels, who will be wrapped up right at the line to gain. Blaine Myrick making the hit, but they're going to call it just shy. So 4th and about a foot and a half maybe.
And they're trying to figure out, are they going to go for it? Are they going to kick it? Punt the football? Looks like the specialist wants to get on. Garrett say no.
Peyton Todd was running out there saying, well, we'll see what they finally decide. Brian Kelly, first time he's been unhappy tonight. 8:06 to go here in the second quarter. You're watching SEC football presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Man, it is a gorgeous night. Been a gorgeous day. Heck, it feels like we've been here for a while. We had to all get out of town. We live in Atlanta. Of course, we all know what's happened there. And certainly our thoughts are with the folks that have been devastated by Hurricane Helene, who, I mean, it's just a massive storm that did so much damage, and certainly wishing everybody the best of luck in trying to regroup after that one. Down to the 22-yard line as LSU punts it on 4th and short. During that timeout, we were watching Brian Kelly. I think he was concerned. He thought that there was a first down. The way that the line judge on the far side, he initially got to the 35-yard line, and it looked like that was good enough for the first down. But if you watch on the far side, watch where.
He looks like he's going to get to the first down marker. Clearly, the ball does not get there. I think he overshot. Wasn't as good of an athlete to stop on a dime. He kind of drifted a little bit. I'm talking about the referee here. And then walked it back. But yeah, a little confusion of where that ball is going to be marked.
LSU has held South Alabama to 3 points and 93 yards of total offense. And that one might have lost a yard, so maybe 92 yards of total offense. Or the Jaguars the last 2 weeks have garnered some attention offensively with what they've been able to do. 87-10 over Northwestern State out of the FCS. But I mean, it's, sure, FCS team, but 87 points. You got to execute at a high level no matter who you're playing. And then last week on the road at App State, put up 48 on the Mountaineers. That one's caught to the 29-yard line. DJ Thomas Jones makes the reception.
Let's look at the numbers from these last 2 games. 135 points scored, over 1,000 yards in offense, and like these last one too, 9.1 yards per play. That's 135, the most in a 2-game span in Sun Belt history. I mean, this offense has just been moving the ball up and down the field, which is why this is such a good challenge tonight for LSU defense and kind of the struggles they've been having on that side of the football.
Gio Lopez. Boy, he just doesn't have any room to run. And again, Whit Weeks. Paris Shand also in there. And the big fellow, Gio Paez. I mean, it's just been tough sled for South Alabama offensively tonight.
Yeah, I think talking with Blake Baker yesterday, defensive coordinator for LSU. New defense, new scheme. You mentioned earlier, Dave, 4 or 5 true freshmen have been playing this year as well. So hopefully these guys continue to get more and more comfortable within the scheme.
Thomas lets that one hit and roll out of bounds. So the Tigers will have it back around the 31-yard line. Garrett Nussmeier, 7 of 11, 155 yards and a touchdown. Well, they talked about ad nauseum having some more explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball, and I would say that they've accomplished that today. 21-yard touchdown reception to start things off.
And they explosive plays, over 20 yards passing, 12 yards rushing. See if they can get to double digits in this ball game.
Durham over the 35 out to the 40-yard line. Akeel Washington, the junior out of Atlanta.
It's been so impressive. I mean, Durham really came onto the scene a couple weeks ago versus South Carolina. LSU's down. Really turned to number 29 to get him out of that hole, and to see his balance when he gets to the second and third level, and you've seen that in this game as well.
Pass is caught there. C.J. Daniels turns it upfield. Will have the first down out to the 47-yard line. A pickup of 7. C.J., the graduate, transferred in from Liberty. 1,000-yard receiver last year. Career 106 receptions, almost 2,000 yards, and 21 touchdowns while he was with the Flames.
It's Wesley Miller, number 6, the rover for South Alabama, down on the field.
Transfer in from Mississippi State. The back end of this defense. We talked a little bit about Nussmeier in the open of this game and the kind of season he's having. He's leading the country in completion, 7th in yards, but yet kind of flies under the radar. And you mentioned there's just so many dynamic quarterbacks in this league alone.
I mean, you go around as we go back to the hit right here from Wesley Miller coming in to make a play and kind of just absorbs it, then gets smacked by his own teammate. But yeah, I mean, you go to Texas, you go to Georgia, you go to Alabama, you go to Ole Miss. A lot of really good quarterbacks in the SEC, and we do forget one of the best one is right here in Baton Rouge.
Josh Williams in the backfield. Anderson comes in motion. Nussmeier over the middle, looking for his tight end, Mason Taylor. He'll have it inside the 25-yard line, down to the 23, a pickup of 31 yards.
And there it goes, 100 receptions from Mason Taylor. Look at the throw. Four verticals, one-on-one. Look at the ball placement, though. Absolutely perfect throw football from Garrett Nussmeier to one of his favorite targets, who now has over 1,000 receiving yards and 100 catches for his career here as a Tiger.
Nussmeier all day to throw, over the middle again, caught, touchdown, Aaron Anderson. 23 more yards and 6 more on the board for LSU. Second touchdown pass of the game for Garrett Nussmeier. That gives him 15 on the year. He came into this game second in the country in touchdown passes.
And make sure that Aaron Anderson got into the end zone. Catch. Oh, that's a touchdown. Easy touchdown.
Let's go. Let's kick it. Keep it moving. Nothing to see here, boys.
The ruling on the field was a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Am I missing something?
That should be unless we're seeing something wrong up here, which we're getting the same angles as them. And make sure he survived the ground.
So the ball did.
Yeah, but he caught it, makes a move, 1, 2, and then reaches.
Right, how's that not?
Catch,
Okay.
makes a move for the end zone.
Has complete control of the football as he went over the goal line.
Complete control of the football.
2 hands around it.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It is a touchdown.
Second touchdown of the year for Aaron Anderson. Redshirt sophomore out of New Orleans by way of the University of Alabama. Makes it a 34-3 game. Ramos trying to make it 35-3 if he can connect on this extra point. Out of the hold of Peyton Todd. Slade Royce snaps. And the execution is flawless. 4:27 to go here in the second quarter, and LSU up 35-3.
We're going to get quarters coverage, so quarters turns into essentially man-to-man, especially when number 2 goes vertical on the post. So he's going to get one-on-one with the safety, going to get one-on-one outside as well. Inside leverage does not keep it. Beautifully thrown ball. Great route, breaking it nice and friendly across that safety's face. And then a nice touchdown once again for one of the best passing attacks in all of college football.
LSU on the year averaging 315 yards a game. That is 3rd in the SEC, but 13th in the country. LSU almost to 400 yards of total offense. They're at 390. Nussmeier has accounted for 4 touchdowns here in the first half. Well, defensively for LSU, they're going without Harold Perkins, of course, lost him because of an ACL injury, but Whit Weeks has been a monster here in the first half.
Yeah, he's as advertised. This coach staff very excited the way he started this season off, and now playing more of a critical role because of Harold Perkins out for the remaining of the season, and he has been all over the field. Number 40, heart and soul right in the middle of that defense.
Let's go to Ashley.
As demolishing as what Weeks is on that side of the ball. They actually call him Sunshine because he's the happiest guy in the world. I talked to him this week. He grew up the biggest Georgia fan. His dad was a Bulldog, played there. His family lives right outside of Athens, like you mentioned, Dave. But I said, why did you come here to LSU? And he said, you know what? Somebody told me that the world's too big to stay in one place. I wanted to explore, venture out. His brother being here obviously helped. And guys, believe it or not, they actually have a 3rd little brother. He's a junior in high school, so we might see 3 Weeks brothers who eventually will suit up for the yellow and purple.
Well, his dad, Whit's dad, West's dad, played football at the University of Georgia, was a center with our own buddy Matt Stinchcomb on that offensive line. Toss sweep left side. Nice run here. Still in bounds goes Bullock. Finally pushed out of bounds around midfield.
We'll talk about Whit Weeks. Voice in number 1 takes him on one-on-one on the outside. Receiver going against the linebacker we're talking about, and gets just enough of him to be able to spring the running back to get the first down on the outside.
Bullock, a transfer from Ole Miss. 2nd year at South Alabama after 3 years at Oxford. First down. The counter play, and that's met immediately in the middle of that line of scrimmage by Savion Jones.
Been really impressed with the defensive ends past couple weeks. Savion Jones, Swinson on the other side, who just waiting for some sort of second and long, third and long, known passing situation. Number 4 has been tremendous over the past 2 weeks. 4 sacks. So let's see if they can get him going with the second and long call here.
After the 2-yard loss, second down. That didn't work well. They'll lose some more yardage. Third down.
Always things you worry about, especially on the road. It's not super loud right now. Crowd's kind of quieted down, but anytime you get a jet motion, snapping the football, either well before that jet player comes across or well afterwards, so you don't run into that issue. He's got a third and long. I've seen too many of these for this offense that is past 2 weeks, not only scoring points, but staying on time ahead of the chains, and not where you want to be against this defensive line right now.
7 tackles for loss already in the first half for LSU. Lopez. Flag comes out. Savion Jones chasing Lopez.
Holding on the offense, number 55. The penalty is declined. It is fourth down. That is the 2-minute timeout.
It's our 2-minute timeout here in Baton Rouge with LSU up 32 points.
Coming up with the Regions halftime report. Pay attention over here. Don't look at the beatdown that's happening right now to your Georgia Bulldogs, Benjamin Watson. We'll talk about the big blue stunner down in Oxford. What are you seeing right here for the Tigers?
Defense, man, hold South Alabama to 3
Never a doubt. Was there any doubt in LSU's defense?
Y'all missing it's the run game.
There it is. Caden Durham as well. See it happen.
PB, was there any doubt in the LSU defense? There were some questions when we got to town talking about this defense, but so far, so good for LSU. Fair catch called for by Thomas. By the way, Peter Burns is like the mayor of this. He doesn't live here, but anywhere you go, he has left his mark around the Baton Rouge area. You need something done, just call Peter.
2 things that need to get worked on heading into this game: defense, 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 and they continue to develop the run game for LSU to create balance offensively. And as we get ready to end this second quarter, you can check those 2 boxes off as improved so far here this evening.
First down and 10 for the Tigers. Backed up inside the 10-yard line. They'll come near side. Here is Caden Durham. Flag comes out as he is stopped around the 18-yard line, but looks like we might have a hold on the outside.
Not what you want to see with Durham kind of limping off the field.
On the offense, number 4. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
They've done such a good job with the perimeter blocking game, and CJ Daniels just hands a little bit too high, grabbing the jersey. Tell you what, though, Durham as a pass catcher out of the backfield, such a weapon to have a running back not only run the ball as well as he has, but catch it.
Josh Williams in the game at running back as Durham limped off, and a little miscommunication there with Kyron Lacey and his quarterback Garrett Nussmeier.
He's seeing corner cat blitz off the edge. He wants Kyron Lacey to run a sight adjustment. So, hey, I'm not protected back here. I need you to run a hitch. Let me put it on you now before the safety comes down. LSU over 90 yards, 2 timeouts, 126 is an explosive offense. I think they're want to put some more points on the board before halftime.
Nussmeier underneath route. Caught there by Aaron Anderson, and he is hit at the 12-yard line. Marion Fortenberry, the true freshman corner, making the play. So third down. That is Caden Durham being talked to by that LSU training staff. We saw him limp off. He's had some sort of game. 128 yards rushing. Pass caught there by Kyron Lacey. That'll be a first down out over the 25 to the 28-yard line.
Big two high safeties, a dig route with a sit down. You see the linebacker comes down just enough on Mason Taylor running the out route for the number 2 position.
Empty set, Nussmeier underneath. There goes Anderson again. Anderson, he'll have another first down to the 41. That's a 13-yard pickup, and LSU will call a timeout.
That's 400 yards of offense in the first half for the Tigers. One timeout to go. 36 seconds, still time to try and get in field goal range.
Hey, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. You mentioned those offensive yards. It's 429 after that last pickup. It's the most yards in the first half since the Peach Bowl in 2019, which was the national semifinal game. When they beat Oklahoma, they put up 497 yards in that 63-28 victory over the Sooners on their way to a national championship. Durham limping off to that LSU locker room. Nussmeier, incomplete. That'll stop the clock at 28 seconds. There goes Caden Durham, who has 3 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown, has 7 rushes for 128 yards and a touchdown, averaging over 18 yards a carry.
It's a pretty successful first half.
Yeah.
Hopefully goes to the locker room, gets checked out, everything's okay for the star freshman tailback.
Nussmeier on a 3-man rush, steps up, throws. This one should be picked off, and it is. Ladarius Webb Jr. with the interception. That is the 3rd one thrown by Nussmeier this year.
Face mask, offense, number 70. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
Well, he had him on the wheel route and just tries to fit it in there. Difficult to do when you're on the move. You get a wheel route up the sideline. Good pocket movement, gets up, gets out. And then just not enough air on it. Allows Webb to fall back, make the interception. Once again, going to be a difficult throw to try to get that up and over Webb and then down before the safety comes in over the top.
So 21 seconds to go before halftime. Gio Lopez. Boy, he has been scrambling around all night long. Pass is complete, but for no gain to Voisin. Devin, the 5th-year senior at a Crestview High School down in Crestview, Florida. And now he looks like he's hurt. Incomplete down that far sideline, looking for Shamar Sandgren. That'll stop the clock with 10 seconds.
I had a shot. If Sandgren continues to run down the field, he actually slowed down a little bit. Impressed with Gio Lopez, the arm strength that we've seen a couple of these throws to the outside. You know, he's got the accuracy. It's always hard to tell on film exactly how fast that thing's coming out of his hands, but Coach Seth lets us know that he can make all the throws you want, has the velocity to do it as well at a high level.
Again, Lopez nowhere to go, gets it away at the last moment as Weeks had him wrapped up. Pass is caught, and that'll be a first down They'll stop it with 1 second on the clock. Bullock there to make the reception and bail out this South Alabama offense. But what a job by Gio Lopez just to get that pass away.
Looking like a little Cam Ward right here. And just somewhat of a delayed blitz from Whit Weeks. The center goes away once he feels like he's dropping. And then Gio Lopez able to have enough strength to get that ball off with number 40 draped all over him. We talk about arm strength. Hail Mary opportunity here for South Alabama.
Hey, coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Golden Band from Tigerland on SEC Network Plus. You can start streaming that now on the ESPN app. Get it to the boys in the studio here in a matter of moments, but I know they'll be breaking down what's going on in Tuscaloosa. Alabama up 30-7 as they're closing in on halftime over on the capstone. 30 points in the first half by the Crimson Tide. Lopez again scrambling around and nowhere to go. He'll be dropped, and that will do it for the first half. It was all about LSU, literally from the opening play from scrimmage. They scored a touchdown on twice in their first 3 plays. And they put 35 up on the board in the first 2 quarters and lead South Alabama 35-3 at the break. 429 yards of offense for LSU, 124 for South Alabama. Defense has been pretty well buttoned up against this explosive group from South Alabama. Let's go down to Ashley.
Here with Brian Kelly. Coach, you said this week to us that you wanted explosive plays. Are you happy with what you're seeing so far in this first half?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we got off to a really good start. Certainly the ability to run the football was going to be huge for us. You know, Caden Durham obviously had some explosive runs and the balance, you know, and made some plays defensively. I wasn't happy with our last possession there. We made a couple of mistakes. We got to stay locked in here, really have a great third quarter, and build some momentum from what we did in the first half.
All right, Coach, thanks so much.
Brian Kelly, I would say pretty pleased with the first 30 minutes. Why not? You're up 35-3. Time for us to get you to the studio. Peter Burns and company breaking down all the action from today. Let's get you there now. Peter.
It's time for the Regions halftime report. Peter Burns, Benjamin Watson, Christopher Doring. I never doubt, right? LSU not having an issue. What are you laughing about? What are you smiling?
As we were going to the game, kicking it out there to Dave and Aaron, you said, man, why is LSU not able to run the ball better with that offensive line? They were last in the conference coming in rushing yards per game, and they're playing up against the South Alabama defense. It's actually pretty good against the run. Number 2 in the Sun Belt. And they only allow 120 yards a game. Well, Caden Durham eclipsed 120 on his 7th carry tonight. So pretty impressive performance by him and this entire offense as they've just been clicking on all cylinders.
Caden Durham, 196 scrimmage yards in the first quarter alone. You talk about explosive runs. He caught a pass there. And how about this defense? You know, we talked about could this defense get back on track? They're going against a South Alabama team that's explosive on offense, as you mentioned. Only 130 yards in this first half for South Alabama. So going into the locker room, you're happy on both sides of the football. They got a couple turnovers.
Yeah. They're a Sun Belt team, but they're a good football team. And so I don't want to take anything away at all from the LSU performance, because I think it's one of the first times we've seen them with a complete performance, at least, 30 minutes in. I know that BK
as an LSU fan, this is the first time that I've watched a game all season long that I felt like it didn't have cardiac arrest. I'll be like, man, I can actually relax a little bit right now, but I guarantee you BK wants to get a good solid second half as well. Did you expect this game? My gosh. Kirby Smart, Kalen DeBoer. People are asking, is it Kirby Smart versus Saban issue or versus an Alabama issue? Maybe it's yes. Right from the jump, Jalen Milroe calls his own number. 4 is a force.
4 is him, as the kids say. But that pin and pull, they attacked the perimeter on Georgia over and over and over again. Over 3 touchdowns or so to the perimeter, over 100 yards rushing to the perimeter alone. And so from the very beginning, it was explosive play after explosive play.
How about this throw right here, though, on the wheel route? Just laid it out perfectly for his running back, Jam Miller, to run under. They were hitting everything that they were calling up, man.
How about that? Carson Beck struggling with a bad pick.
But you know what? That's on the receiver, B-Dub.
Yeah, it looked like Smith missed the play there. But again, here's another perimeter run.
But what's the key on Alabama's perimeter success? It's the blocking on the outside.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Right here, 4th and 1, Jalen Milroe. They're eating the dogs. 28-0. Oh my goodness. It is getting ugly. It's all right. This is when you hit the Nintendo reset button, you blow on the cartridge, and you're like, something has to happen, right?
Credit Georgia for not shutting it down. I mean, at least they put a drive together here and got a little momentum as the second quarter
Think about what you just said. Credit to Georgia not shutting it down.
They were down 28-0. You know the last time they trailed by 28 points? 2019 LSU in the SEC title game.
Unbelievable. How about that? Beck picked off once again. He would he'd have a safety. I mean, I think it's fair to ask the question, 30-7 right now. Was Nick Saban holding back this Crimson Tide team? I mean, they keep showing Saban in the press box, and he's got his notes right now. But my goodness, I mean, you can't draw up a better half of football than what Bama just played.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we listened to Kalen DeBoer on game day this morning, he talked about how well they practiced in the week leading up. And I think he was quietly confident about not only the game plan, but how comfortable the players felt in the game plan. Because right out the get-go, they scored after their 4th drive, 4 straight touchdowns. They scored 28 points on 23 plays. I mean, that is offensive efficiency at its finest.
And you look at Milroe, I mean, 9 rushing attempts, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 11.8 yards a carry. And you're right, from the get-go, Alabama, kind of a continuation, I think, of what we saw with them going on the road to Wisconsin, putting up 40 points there. You see the confidence in this football team, and it's manifested itself in a very lopsided first half for Alabama.
355 yards of total offense for the Tide. They are rolling up 23 at the break. But right now down in LSU, it is all Tigers. Caden Durham, by God, a freshman. 29, sets the pace early. Taking it to the house. All Tigers.
This halftime report is presented by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC.
Welcome back to the Regions Bank halftime report, and kind of a wild day. It started right from the jump. Jackson Dart, Brock Vandegrift finding Dane Key. It was a stripe out over there down at the SIP. Undefeated Ole Miss has been incredible on offense. Brock Vandegrift in the 4th and 7 play right here.
Yeah, just the decision by Coach Stoops to call that play there after punting against Georgia. You think maybe he learned a little something from that, but the delivery from Vandegrift on point there to Barry and Brown.
At one point, they had 7 fumbles, didn't recover any of them. Occasionally, you have a little luck. Wimsatt under center, fumbles it, but a Wildcat is there. Oh no, SEC surrender Cobra.
I see a Caddis, the tight end. Johnny on the spot. But no, it's Caddis on the spot, baby.
Wow, look at you guys. It's like y'all done this before. Kentucky retakes the lead 20-17. Now, 4th and 11. Jackson Dart says, "Home a bear." About that. Caden Priesthorn, 42-yard gain.
It was the only catch of the day, but it was a big one for this Ole Miss team.
Then 2nd and 10. This is just a play you just can't have.
Oh, J.J. Weaver, that 6th finger, man, he's pursuing. Got after Jackson Dart. No reason at all in the world to take that sack. You're on the sideline. Throw the ball out of bounds.
Caden Davis, an opportunity. That's not left. That's left of left. College kickers. Kentucky upsets number 6 Ole Miss. First SEC win and first win in Oxford since 1978. You could argue that it may have been the biggest game that Mark Stoops has won in his career over there in Lexington.
Huge game for Stoops, and just a roller coaster ride they've been on this season. You could tell he was happy in that post-game press.
We will have that coming up on SEC Now later tonight. Michael Hawkins Jr., the true freshman, getting his first start against Peyton Thorne back in the starting lineup. Hugh Freeze says 9 times out of 9, I'd like the Tiger walk. Now, early in this game, how about that? 14-10. Peyton Thorne finds Cam Coleman, gets it done. Then Thorne, Luke Deal, nice catch here.
Yeah, nice little play fake and the delivery to let his tight end run under it.
21-10. At this point, it was like 90% chance that Auburn's going to win this game. I tell you that number because it would change. Michael Hawkins Jr. finds J.J. Hester for 60 yards. Then Thorne, who had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions until that. Well,
Kip Lewis, you know what's coming though. This Oklahoma defense is a turnover forcing machine this year.
Gives the Sooners the lead on the 2-point conversion attempt. Hawkins Jr. showing why he's at starting quarterback right now. Zip, zip, little Kyler Murray action. Goes
John
airborne.
Elway finish there.
Sooners, oh no. Oh no. 27-21. It's okay for Auburn though. They'll face Georgia, then Missouri, then Kentucky next. It gets real easy for them.
Look at Hawkins' stat line. 10 of 15, 161 yards, had a rushing touchdown. You know the biggest thing he didn't do?
Turn the
football over.
Yep.
Something Peyton Thorne cannot say.
27-21, Brent Venables. Right now, Oklahoma, weird stat, on the road, 5-0 in the SEC. Well, back in the day. Right. Garrett Nussmeier, more wide open than by bar tab at
Finished
Bogey
with
for
a
the
W,
Ole Miss
too.
weekend. Oh, looking, okay, all right, teach me. Welcome back to the Regions Halftime Report. Down to the 40 acres. It's their first conference game. Sark and the boys taking on Mississippi State at home. Remember, they have one underneath their belt. So, Arch Manning getting his second start of the season for the Longhorns. Manning finds more. Dime.
Taking a shot there, free rusher off the edge, stood in there and delivered a dime. Let his receiver. How about the little fake?
Oh, he's good. Oh,
Yeah.
fade hand. Oh, what is?
I guess he was coming
hey.
off a hip injury. That might
Easy.
be where Arch had the issue.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah,
he's gonna go down to the
blaming
Dougie.
Arch.
I feel like he's more of a sprinkler guy, shopping cart. All right, how about the defense? Michael Van Buren Jr. in for Blake Shapen, who's out for the remainder of the year. Longhorns defense, 6 sacks on the day, but Manning not done. How about this pass to Moore Jr. again?
Man, love it. You know, Arch takes a lot of deep shots. He's thrown the deep ball well ever since he's been starting and playing for this Texas team, and they just got so many weapons to spread the ball around to.
35-13. Okay, cool. Hook 'em. A&M, Arkansas. Last time, those fan bases are going to be headed up to AT&T Stadium for that. Jerry Jones in attendance for the Southwest Classic, and it looked like it was going to be a classic early. Early in the first quarter, Taylon Green. How about that?
Yeah, he does a good job of buying time, letting Tesla uncover, and then delivering an absolute strike.
So, late first quarter, Bobby Petrino has been cooking up something in the lab. Jaquindon Jackson, 8-yard touchdown. Razorbacks lead 14-7.
Yeah, Jackson keeps doing what he's been doing, leading the SEC and rushing touchdowns.
No Connor Wegman. It's been Marcel Reed since earlier this season. Quick dart to Trey Watson. Aggies take the lead for the first time, 21-7. See ya. Then, late in the fourth, you get the whole Taylon Green experience. Some good, some bad. For the 12th time out of the last 13 meetings, Texas A&M defeats Arkansas 21-7. They move to 4-1. All about the Tigers. They are rolling. Second half coming up after the break, up 32.
This halftime report is presented by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC.
First half dominated by LSU on a gorgeous night here in Baton Rouge. LSU up 35-3 over South Alabama in their first ever meeting between these two programs. Time now for coverage where it counts, presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Saturday night has been all right for sure for this LSU football team. And Brian Kelly telling us yesterday when we were meeting with them, they needed a quick start, some big plays, and we want to win the game and get some momentum as we get ready for conference play as it goes in full swing here in a matter of moments. How would you assess how that all went in the first half?
Well, they're more of a second half team this football season. They want to start off fast, so check there. They want to get the run game going. Got that going. Want to play better defensively. Got that going as well. So an A. If the air didn't throw that pick before half, we would have said A+, but as good of a first 2 quarters as you could possibly have for the LSU Tigers.
Caden Durham, the true freshman, got the start tonight and did not disappoint on the opening play from scrimmage. goes 71 yards. And LSU has not looked back since. South Alabama came in here with a red-hot offense, but they have yet to really put together a substantial drive. They did have a field goal in that second quarter. But this is an offense that was averaging 48 points a game. That is 9th in the FBS. They were putting up over 500 yards of offense, which was first in the Sun Belt, 13th in the country. But in the first half here against this LSU defense, just 124 yards. Jaguars will start things off from the 25. Big hole off the right side for Kendrell Bullock, and he is out over the 40. Nice 15-yard gain to start things off.
It's supposed to be an outside zone. You see the offensive lineman pulling to get to the edge, and Bullock said, all right, everyone's flowing a little bit too fast from the second level for LSU. Puts his foot in the ground, gets north. Really good run to get things going for this offense, and hopefully take some pressure off their star quarterback, Gio.
Lopez sees a little seam to run through, and he takes advantage of it with another first down run inside LSU territory to the 47, and Greg Penn brings him down, but a 12-yard pickup.
I mean, this is the third or fourth time we've seen this mesh concept run for South Alabama. Nothing's there. Really good protection. Sees it zone. You like that more versus man. Don't load for zone. Takes off run. No one there for the quarterback, and able to get another first down.
Again, a run off the right side and another hole there. Ahmad Bro and Whit Weeks put some arms in there to kind of trip up the run game, but another good run for Kentrell Bullock.
Asher Hale, number 70, the freshman left guard, comes around and takes care of the first block, and then Jordan Davis is then able to get north to get to the second level to make the next block, and really good counter there from this offensive line.
Did his pants just get ripped off?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That'll get you into the tent in a hurry, won't it? Brings in Fluff Bothwell. Freshman running back gets this handoff. Is inside the 40. He's going to be about a yard shy. Major Burns first one there in a white jersey. By the way, LSU in these white jerseys, white pants, and their gold/yellow. I know it's purple and gold here, but they look a little yellow. This is only the second time they've worn this combination. They did it last year against Army. I like the look.
I love the look. I love their helmets. I need one in the office.
See if we can't get you one shipped to the house. That will be enough for the first down.
That's what they got to get going here in the second half. Fluff Bothwell, who coming into this game has been electric running the football. Great balance, great size, 5'10", 220. Only 4 yards rushing on 5 carries there through the first 2 quarters. Want to see him get going here early on in the second half.
Bothwell in the backfield. Get out in the flat, but they will go underneath now to Shamar Sandgren. He'll pick up 7. Pushed out of bounds there by Whit Weeks.
Another mesh concept, and they just keep running the same play over and over again, hoping to get man coverage. That time, once again, zone. But as a receiver, if you see green grass, you're going to continue to stay on the move, whether it's zone or man. Good communication there between the quarterback and receiver, seeing that green grass, throwing it out there to catch it for a nice first down gain.
Makes it 2nd down and 4. Lopez trying to throw back to Bothwell, who makes a nice grab, and he'll be out of bounds around the 29. That'll be about a yard and a half shy. It was Braden Swinson who pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah, it's the first time we've said Swinson's name really tonight. Defensive end that has really worked on his angles this offseason of being able to take those defenders one-on-one, offensive tackles one-on-one. 4 sacks for the last 2 games, and making a nice stop in the open field there.
Kentrell Bullock to the left of Lopez. They'll fake it to Bullock. Lopez trying to run for it. He'll get to the 25 and down around the 22-yard line. Greg Penn just picked up his 11th tackle of the night, but not before Gio Lopez will move the chains.
And this is the perfect drive for this offense. You go back and watch the tape. This is what they love to do. Just nice, easy passes. Get your quarterback on the run. It's actually 4th in the country in yards passing outside of the pocket. And it has the ability to run it right there as well.
And some movement up front. Boy, just when South Alabama had things going in the right direction, they back it up 5. There might be a discussion to the defense kind of force the issue in the offensive line to move.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And the answer to our question is no. Or my question. Wasn't really your question. It was my question.
But it was no.
Right. I didn't want to bring you into my little world.
But I mean, this is what we saw in the first half too from this offense. You know, at times just self-inflicted wounds, whether penalties, holding, a couple of hands to the face. I want to be able to keep that rhythm offensively.
1st and 15. Toward the end zone, pass is caught, touchdown South Alabama. Anthony Eager, the redshirt freshman out of Mobile, 27 yards out.
Kentrell Pollock in the backside is able to pick the corner blitz up, and then it's just a one-on-one inside fade, one of the most popular routes now in all of college football. And does a tremendous job with stepping on the toes of the defender. Doesn't allow him to get any hands on him, and then perfectly thrown ball up high to allow Eager to go up there and make the catch for a touchdown. And what a great drive to start things off for the Jaguars.
Going after, up and good. So South Alabama takes the opening possession of the second half and marches it down the field, puts 7 on the board. LSU has the football when we come back. You're watching SEC football presented by T-Mobile 5G home internet. Down on the bayou, on the banks of the Mississippi River, inside Tiger Stadium, over 100,000. Actually, attendance tonight was at 102, 143. Many have headed home to go watch and listen to what you have to say.
Lots of good stuff.
The power that you bring. 35-10 though, South Alabama scores on their opening possession of the third quarter, and LSU will have their first possession of the second half. Let's go downstairs to Ashley.
Guys, we saw the star freshman running back Hayden Durham kind of limp off the field right before the half. His left shoe was off. He is back out here. You can see him right there. His shoes are on, obviously no helmet. I'm being told, though, it is a left foot injury, and it's unlikely that he's going to return at all in this second half.
Yeah, I think it's probably a cautious maneuver as coming up down the road for this LSU football team. It is nothing but SEC games the rest of the way out. Nussmeier with a solid first half, one bad throw. Ended up in an interception. This is a good throw out to Xavier Thomas, and he'll have it out over the 40 to the 41. First down after the 16-yard gain.
And that's the part of this game that I love from Garrett Nussmeier. It's not just the down the field pass and the seam balls, the go balls, but in that RPO world, the quickness and almost turning to like a middle infielder to be able to get the ball out on time to your receivers.
Thomas goes in motion. They will get him the football. Running hard and flipped up, and the whistles will blow just shy of the 49. Wesley Miller will get credit for the tackle.
Showing some speed there from number 0. Last 2 plays, love the giddy up. Obviously, great tradition at LSU of receivers. Some really good ones this year, and still trying to get healthy in that position as well. And hopefully get a guy like Chris Hilton back in the next couple of weeks before that SEC play really gets going.
Pressure comes. Tigers pick it up, swing it outside to Taylor. He'll have the reception and a first down for LSU inside South Alabama territory. At the 47, Blaine Myrick out there along with Jordan Scruggs.
What a luxury to have not just all these great receivers on the outside, offensive tackles. I'm not trying to sound too jealous up here, but then you throw on top one of the premier tight ends in all of college football, and Mason Taylor has just been tremendous during his career here at LSU.
That one is dropped. We're going to say incomplete. Thomas couldn't hang on to it. Go back to Mason Taylor for a moment. I mean, he leads the country among all tight ends with 25 receptions.
Actually throwing football right there. Got to be able to reel it in, and nice punch out there from Fortenberry, number 19. Yeah, going back to that tight end though, and he's got big size too, 6'5", 255. On top of it.
Second down and 10. With some nice blocking on the perimeter, frees up Josh Williams. He's inside the 25-yard line. Darius McKenzie bumps him out of bounds.
Now we continue to talk about Mason Taylor. Let's show him some more love. 1-on-1 on the outside, need perimeter blocking for big plays down the field. You see number 86 locked up, along with some receivers as well. Number 4, C.J. Daniels.
Nussmeier going toward the end zone, looking for Taylor, and overthrows it by a few steps. There's a look at offensive coordinator Joe Sloan. Interesting talking to him about some of the things Brian Kelly called plays for 25 years. Really understands that part of the game and works with Joe, passes along some of his thoughts on drives and plays, but he lets Joe kind of do his thing.
Oh yeah, it's been impressive for first-year coordinator to come in here and take over this offense, which has been so dominant, and do it with the poise and confidence that he has to start this season off.
That one is dropped by Kyron Lacey.
That's 2 drops on this drive, something that we're not accustomed to seeing. Especially from a guy like Kyron Lacey. He's so sure-handed on the outside. And man, did he make a splash? The big question was, who's going to replace the great receivers that were drafted just a year ago? And obviously all eyes were going to be on number 2, and he did not disappoint there in that first game. Unfortunate loss, but showed in a big way that he was ready to fill those shoes and be receiver number 1 for the Tigers.
Nussmeier checking off the line of scrimmage on 3rd down and 10. Over the middle, and that one is picked off. South Alabama has their 2nd interception of the game. Jaden Voisin. That ball was tipped. He was able to catch it and hang on to it. So 2 interceptions tonight, a 22-yard return, and South Alabama will have the football again.
Now a little bit too greedy here. The freshman undercuts it on the outside, Fortenberry. And then another turnover for the Tigers.
Well, after that interception, Brian Kelly having a little chat with his quarterback, Mr. Nussmeier. And I think you used a good word before we went to break. You said you thought maybe Nussmeier got a little greedy.
Yeah, you start getting confidence, especially in a game like this where you're up big and you start thinking that you're a little bit too like Superman. Nothing bad's going to happen, and force that one there, but really good defensive play in the back end.
Lopez gets the pass off. Another nice game for South Alabama as Anthony Eager picks up the 1st down and a 16-yard gain. Let's go down to Ashley.
Guys, Gio Lopez really battling tonight, showing his versatility, but believe it or not, I talked to Gio this week, and being a quarterback, football in general, was not always the dream for him. In fact, it was far from it. He actually grew up wanting to be a drag racer. His entire family is from Miami. Drag racing is really popular there. His dad raced all of Gio's life, and Gio would just follow him around from racetrack to racetrack when he was younger. He did a couple mini drag racing competitions, but his dad actually said you really should stick to sports. His mom 100% agreed. And then when they moved to Alabama, that's when things really progressed in that direction for Gio. He played baseball and football, and after an injury on the mound, he fully focused on football, and it clearly has paid off. But just so you know, big drag racer in his spare time. You can see him right there, 5-year-old Gio.
That is awesome. Gio has been burning some rubber around college football until today. Maybe he can get something going here in the second half as he connects again on a deep throw to Anthony Eager. Boy, a different Jaguar offense here in the third quarter than we saw in the first half.
Well, it's that one-on-one inside fade once again. It was an absolute dime of a throw up and over. Eager stepping on the toes of the defender once again, creating the separation needed for the quarterback to confidently throw the football down the field.
First and goal from the 9-yard line. Lopez 16 of 20 for a $171 now. Bothwell will switch sides now to the right of Lopez. And I think Major Applewhite was jogging down the sidelines hoping to get a timeout.
First charge timeout, South Alabama.
So a 30-second timeout with 6:20 to go here in the third quarter, and the Jaguars trying to pick up their second touchdown of the evening. Coming up next, SEC football final with Peter Burns, Chris Doring, and Benjamin Watson. They'll take you through the biggest stories of the day and break down all the SEC games. 11 Eastern, 10 Central, right here on the SEC Network. And, of course, you can always find it on the ESPN app. Of course, the big story today, Kentucky on the road taking down 6th-ranked Ole Miss. Texas also picks up their first SEC win. Texas A&M holds off Arkansas. And right now, Alabama is just sticking it to Georgia in Tuscaloosa. I think it's still 30-7, Crimson Tide, which was the score at halftime. So after the timeout, South Alabama, first and goal. Handed off to Bothwell, who drives his way close to the 5-yard line. Ahmad Bro comes in. Don't get credit for that stop, but there's a look at the young man, the true freshman, Fluff Bothwell.
This is when Gio's legs are even more critical for this offense and really puts a defense in a bind. And don't worry about the big 220-pound running back, freshman running back, and then Gio's legs and getting on the run too. Some of these quick receivers in the flat.
Little toss sweep to Bothwell. Breaks one tackle, keeps his feet moving. He'll get inside the 5-yard line. Gio Paez, the first one there for LSU, but this is a young man that certainly has shown some ability early on. He's averaging almost 10 yards per carry, leading the Sun Belt in rushing. And he's got a redshirt freshman quarterback he's working behind. So a couple of young future stars. And again, I hate to say it, but in this day and age, you just wonder. You just wonder.
Don't say it, Dave. Come on now.
No, I don't like it.
Don't make the South Alabama fans
I don't like it. It's just the nature of the beast.
There's a really good conversation yesterday with Major about that, Major Applewhite.
Third down and goal. Lopez looking, throws to the corner of the end zone, incomplete. Let's see what Major Applewhite wants to do on 4th down. I think he's going to keep his offense on the field.
Gilbert on the back end. Made some two deep crossers. He passes it off very nicely and loses the receiver for a split second, but is able to get back there to make it a difficult throw. I like the decision here, man. You got to be able to feel like you get this opportunity. You've been moving the ball well to start the half. See if you're a talented quarterback can find a way to get in the end zone.
4th and goal from the 4. Lopez going to try to run for it to the goal line. Hit, his helmet came flying off. I think he got stuffed at the 1-yard line. Was that Whit Weeks and Major Burns that combined for the tackle? Wow, what a hit.
That's a big-time play from Major Burns. Whit Weeks, we got to play at the goal line. You ain't getting in. Great stop from LSU's defense.
Well, you can help people affected by Hurricane Helene. You can donate at redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover. Just devastating, that hurricane. The amount of land that it affected from the coastline all the way up through Atlanta and into North Carolina. Asheville was just crushed. I know Boone, North Carolina, some of the pictures where I live, if you watch Fox News or Good Morning America Friday morning, they were set up basically in my front yard. Luckily, our house was up a little high, but our neighbors were, they're not going to be getting in their houses anytime soon. Just an awful, awful storm. Mother Nature can be brutal at times, for sure. So be sure to help some folks out at redcross.org/ESPN. Catch is made there by Kyron Lacey. Kyron Lacey better hold on to these here in the second half if he's dropped a couple here tonight.
You said it before after the last possession, Dave. Just a really sloppy few plays. Had 2 drops on the outside. Interception from Garrett Nussmeier, just very uncharacteristic, and a little bit of a slow start from LSU coming out. Really a better second half team than first half team, and not been a good third quarter.
Boy, some nifty footwork from Aaron Anderson. He'll have the first down out to the 34-yard line. Wesley Miller drags him down, but not before 14 more yards.
These are the athletes they have. Look at the catch and turn. And then the swiftness to get around the defender.
A bootleg here for Nussmeier. Flag comes out on the far side of the field. That one is incomplete.
Personal foul, face mask, number 79, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It is first down.
It'll be the center, DJ Hester, in the middle of the screen. Gonna take on the blitzer one-on-one, and you see the grab with the face mask with the right hand.
Redshirt freshman, 6'6", 322 out of Conyers, Georgia. Caleb Jackson getting some work here. He gets the handoff and is flipped to the turf around the 21-yard line. LSU's got to get it all the way out to the 44-yard line for a first down. Here's some heat coming from South Alabama. Nussmeier sees it, throws across the middle. Anderson has it and can't stay on his feet. He'll be a yard shy of the original line of scrimmage. Marion Fortenberry able to trip him up.
I've been really impressed with Fortenberry. Last possession was able to tip the ball up for the interception. Had some one-on-one contested plays down the field as well. Just a true freshman that this coaching staff was really pleasantly surprised with how well he looked in camp, and a couple injuries and was forced into the starting position. Is not disappointed. They're taking a #1 role on the outside as a true freshman.
Third down, Nussmeier. Over the middle, wide open is Kyron Lacey. First down, LSU at the 46. That's a gain of 15.
He ran this route earlier in the game too. Same thing, soft coverage, gonna run a corner stop to the outside. Look at the timing. Garrett Nussmeier, that ball is already out of the quarterback's hands as Kyron Lacey is getting to the top of his route. That is incredible, incredible trust between the quarterback and receiver for a great completion on the first down.
Little play fake for Nussmeier. Steps up, hit as he throws, going deep, and that one is incomplete. Was trying to hit C.J. Daniels. Nussmeier took a pretty good shot.
White jersey's usually pretty clean for 13. Only 2 sacks on the season heading into the game. Does a good job standing there, at least giving his receiver an opportunity down the field. If he had a split second longer, the deep cross was coming wide open.
Handoff right side, goes to Jackson. Josh Williams will check back in the game for Jackson. Four-man rush. Nussmeier throws on the run, and is that some kind of catch over there by Mason Taylor?
He looks like a receiver with his hands. Just so natural for a guy that's 6'5", 260, and then the body control as well to go along with it. I mean, I'm sure NFL scouts salivating of his potential at the next level when you see guys like Brock Bowers from Georgia and Travis Kelce and so on and so forth, and what that position means in that league.
Williams left side. He'll have a first down inside the 35-yard line. Wesley Miller brings him down. But talking to Joe Sloan about Mason Taylor yesterday, you asked the question about how is he in his inline blocking, because obviously at the next level you better be able to do that. He said, man, he's gotten really good at it.
Well, yeah, I just think a lot of people just assume he's just a pass catcher when you look at the stats, but in his frame, he is more than that. I mean, with the best tight end in this league, I brought up Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is probably about 6'3", 240. He's got about 2 inches and 20 pounds on him, and you've seen his ability in this game to be able to block defenders.
That'll be the end of the third quarter. LSU on the move, leading it 35-10. Fourth quarter football coming up on the other side. You're watching SEC football presented by T-Mobile 5G home internet. Final 15 minutes on the horizon as we just called Baton Rouge between quarters here. Boy, if you like live music, you got to go to YouTube Music and pull up the video of Garth Brooks in the stadium playing Call Baton Rouge. It is one of the most amazing things you will ever hear and see.
Illegal snaps, offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty. It is first down.
By the way, I can't go on any longer without commenting on Morgan Wallen had 2 concerts at Neyland Stadium last weekend. 160,000 people showed up for those 2 concerts. And the second night, watching Peyton Manning walk out to the stage with him in full Tennessee uniform was priceless. All of it, helmet, the whole deal. Nice. It was awesome.
You know about a team that had a red-hot start to the season? That is the Tennessee Volunteers.
First and 15, Nussmeier to throw over the middle. Pass is caught inside the 5-yard line. Goes Kyron Lacey. It'll be first and goal LSU after the 34-yard gain.
Garrett got me on that one. I thought he handed that football off. Puts into the belly. He does a little fadeaway too. Buys some time to allow the receiver to go on that seam route over the top, and then perfectly thrown football once again to his main man, Kyron Lacey on the outside. But man, he got me. I was watching the running back, Dave. I thought he handed the football off.
Nussmeier up over 400 yards passing, 24 of 36 for 403 and a couple of touchdowns, but 2 interceptions tonight. Mike 28. Off the right side, and Mike 28 works as they hand it off to 18, Josh Williams.
Well, something they wanted to add to their running game here tonight was that outside zone, almost like a stretch play. You see Missouri run it all the time. Not in the A gap, not the B gap, but get to the C gap, stretch it, find the hole. And then once you see it as a running back, then you're allowed to then put the foot in the ground and get vertical. Nice blocking, and then really nice read from Williams to get in the end zone for another touchdown for the Tigers.
Is that kind of a bluff off Mike 28? What are we saying when he's barking out Mike 28, Mike 28?
He's declaring the Mike linebacker, who's number 28 defensively for South Alabama.
Somebody got to go get 28.
Someone go get him, and we'll find a way into the end zone once again for them Tigers.
Well, the 6th-year senior Josh Williams with the touchdown run, his 3rd of the season. Josh has already picked up a couple degrees, has a degree in marketing, also picked up his MBA. It's a guy that has taken advantage of the free education. Well, he is all about being an LSU Tiger, that is for sure. Gonna count on him without John Emery available with the knee injury. That one sails into the end zone. LSU also going without Harold Perkins for the remainder of the year. Got injured last week, but boy, this guy came on as one of the top players in America. And his freshman season had 7.5 sacks, a couple of forced fumbles, and an interception. Busted onto the scene, and then it became kind of a question of where do we play him? How do we use him? And of course, this year, his junior season, injured last week against UCLA and is done for the season, which I guess when you talk to the coaches, yeah, it's a big loss, but they feel like even though the numbers are down at linebacker between Greg Penn, Whit Weeks, West Weeks, and maybe some things they can do on the back end, bringing up some safeties and stuff, that they can fill that void.
I don't know if you can fill the void of Harold Perkins. He is an absolute stud. You can try as much as you can, but he's an absolute difference maker out there in the football field. And I mean, Forty's doing a heck of a job right now making plays in this game, but Harold Perkins is someone that you watch the film, you have to circle week in and week out. And I get it. It's been an interesting year and a half.
Watch Whit right here, 40 yards downfield.
I love 40. I have nothing against 40. 40's a killer. 40's a NFL linebacker. I'm just saying, Harold Perkins, what he can do as a linebacker, defensive end, star position.
The movement up front. He's been a real enigma, though, Perkins.
It's weird.
I mean, the whole thing is.
False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. It is second down.
He reminds me just the body size. So I played with a guy named Jarvis Jones, defensive end, who was an absolute nightmare coming off the edge. Should have been in New York for the Heisman ceremony, and built very similar in similar instincts and abilities to get after the quarterback. And I just would like to see him play more of that role a little bit over the past year and a half.
Wonder if that was his last game in an LSU uniform last weekend. Here's Gio Lopez. Whit Weeks pushes him out of bounds. By the way, we talked about Whit Weeks a bunch tonight, but Greg Penn has had a heck of a game. He leads LSU with 14 stops. 7 of those have been solo. Major Burns has 8, Whit Weeks with 8, and have dominated the tackle department for LSU tonight.
Well, I do think the one thing that the coach staff told us is, you know, Harold is maybe not such a natural inside linebacker, so he doesn't see the game as well from that position as, say, a Whit Weeks does. But he makes up for it with athleticism, where a Whit Weeks, just it's so much more natural for him to play on the inside.
Lopez, pocket collapses, and he will be dropped at the 19-yard line. Deshaun Womack and Whit Weeks.
Look at number 40, one-on-one. Gonna go against the center and just beats him around the edge. And there's absolutely nowhere to go for Gio Lopez. You look up and 50's staring right at you, and then Womack comes up to finish the deal off.
Thomas back at the 35 to return the punt. Line drive, tight spiral, returnable. Thomas makes a man miss and then runs out of room and out of bounds on the far side. We'll step aside, 12.5 to go here at Tiger Stadium, celebrating 100 years of football inside this massive stadium. Let's take a look at Fansville, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. 102,143 fans came to the turnstiles tonight, and it is always a spectacle. Night football here in Tiger Stadium. LSU will take a week off, and then Ole Miss comes into Tiger Stadium on October 12th. You can bet this place will be jammed. Juwan Johnson getting some action. A man who was a highly sought-after athlete coming out of high school and actually started the year as a defensive back, was a quarterback in high school, super athlete, but started in the secondary and then When John Emery went down, they were like, oh, we got to get some more bodies back there and put him back there. And it looks like he may stay.
Yeah, they just say he's just so natural on that side of the football, sees the offense so well, understands where to be, not only in the run game, but the pass game as well.
They will get it to Johnson. Johnson still driving out to midfield. The freshman out of Lafayette, Louisiana, had a touchdown reception against Nichols.
That's the one thing. It's just so hard to understand offensive concepts, especially when you've not been in it for that long. But, you know, he just has a natural feel of like, okay, this guy's here, so I must be over here. And has just slowly worked more and more reps during practice. It's going to be interesting to see what he looks like here in the fourth quarter.
They'll hand it off to Johnson. Get it to the 47. He set some incredible high school records here in Louisiana. Set state records with 14,451. That's 14,451 total yards and 171 touchdowns accounted for. Just digest that for a moment.
That's pretty good, right? I think that's pretty good. Sounds like a guy that you can find a way to get the football to a little bit more and see what he can do with it.
Second down. Caleb Jackson checks in at running back. Nussmeier. He will throw it away. Good coverage downfield by South Alabama. Ed Smith was putting some pressure on Nussmeier. Nussmeier 414 yards through the air.
Yeah, but there's 2 picks still in this game. Just silly interceptions for him that he's going to go back and just watch that film tomorrow morning or afternoon and just shake his head. And obviously, it doesn't look like it's going to affect the outcome of this game up 42-10, but he knows with the schedule going forward and still some progress to be made on the other side of the football, he's going to have to be perfect or near perfect down the stretch.
Little sidearm toss to Johnson, but covered well again by South Alabama. They ended up losing a yard or two. Yeah, loss of 4. And here comes the LSU punt team. Darius Webb out there making a nice play for the Jaguars. Blake Oxendorf in to punt this one away. End over end kick, booming. Will hit inside the 5 and down there by LSU. Well, here's our Week 6 SEC Network Saturday football lineup. We'll have a command center presentation of number 11 Missouri and number 24 Texas A&M. Tigers off this week. A&M with a big win over Arkansas. That'll start at noon Eastern, 11 Central, with 4 different camera angles and real-time player and team stats. Then at 4:15, number 4 Alabama taking on Vandy, and we cap the night in the Swamp. Florida will host UCF at 7:45. Of course, each one of those games also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere, anytime you would like. So Bishop Davenport in at quarterback. The redshirt sophomore out of Spring High School in Spring, Texas, a transfer in from Utah State, getting some work here. The nicest way to start the game. Backed up inside the 5, gets the handoff to P.J. Martin, who gets it out to the 9-yard line. A little breathing room now for South Alabama. And Bishop Davenport, you see his numbers on the year. 23 of 37, 226.
I mean, you look back at the starters for this offense and you watch the film for the start of the season from Gio to Bothwell. Obviously, this team has its aspirations to be competitive in the Sun Belt, and saw some good stuff from their starters tonight, even though there's only 10 points on the board, and still be excited for a bright future the rest of the way.
First down run there from P.J. Martin, brought down by another freshman getting some work on the defensive side. Xavier Atkins, the true freshman out of Houston, Texas, with the tackle.
LSU's got some impressive freshmen that have played to start the season. Haven't been able to call out Dominic McKinley, the 5-star defensive tackle who made his first sack of his career last week. 5-star recruit. Like, when he's fully healthy, he's going to be an absolute terror this year and going forward.
a nice catch there out over the 30-yard line by Devon Ivory, a fifth-year senior. The transfer, he came in from Memphis, gain of 17.
Really nice throw and read, going from 1 to 2, a little bit behind, but nice accurate throw behind. I mean, like throwing behind your body. You're somewhat of a no-no for a quarterback unless the receiver is wide open, and he was there to get the completion for another first down.
Another decent gain out near the 40-yard line. That'll be a yard shy the line to game. Anthony Eager with another catch. Gio Lopez, by the way, will finish 60 of 22 for 171 yards and a touchdown.
Pretty good stat night right there. Like I said, it doesn't really translate to the scoreboard, but man, some of those inside throws, the fades were great. Throwing on the run, obviously his specialty.
Not much that Bishop Davenport could do, being chased there by Greg Penn III. You know, you look at South Alabama, and they're about ready to get in the Sun Belt gauntlet here coming up. After this one, they're at Arkansas State, and they get Troy, ULM, Georgia Southern, Louisiana. All those are conference games the rest of the way out. But I think there's enough here. If they can kind of shore up some things on that defensive side, I think offensively this is a team that can.
It was a young defense, too, for South Alabama. 9 new starters to start the season off. And
dump off pass will pick up a first down into LSU territories. That one goes to Andrew Bench, the fifth-year senior, picks up 17 yards.
Let's just be honest. I mean, they were outmatched tonight. This is one of the premier offenses, not just in the SEC, but in all of college football. And yeah, they had the size advantage, the speed advantage, and this is the best offense that you'll see this entire season. So defense, talking with the staff, feel like they've matured pretty quickly from a lot of the young guys they played week 1 of the football season. And like you said, the offense is going to be pretty darn good in the Sun Belt.
Bishop Davenport's arm was hit as he let the pass go, incomplete. Deshaun Womack got in there to cause the havoc. I've already shown it worked pretty good on the road at App State. They won that one 48-14 last week. Braylon McReynolds began the year as the starter. He's in the backfield now, been bothered by a shoulder injury the last few weeks, but trying to get him some reps. This little catch there by Sandgren. Turn the corner and be a couple yards shy of the first down. Sage Ryan pushes him out of bounds.
And really good blocking on the outside by South Alabama's tight end Andrew Bench. See some really good perimeter blocking for both teams throughout the evening, and it's kind of where college football has gone, and that's why you see a lot of these quarterbacks with such high completion percentages. Is, you know, a third or even higher of their throws are a lot of these perimeter screens.
Toward the end zone, and just a little bit too far for Jeremiah Webb. It was there for a touchdown, but Davenport just a little too hot with the pass.
He just blew J.K. Johnson right off the line of scrimmage. Press coverage, wins immediately, gets on top, and just put a little bit more air under that football to allow your receiver to adjust to make the catch.
So 4th down and 2. South Alabama going to go for it. Four-man rush over the middle and behind the intended receiver, Anthony Eager. And that'll be a turnover on downs with 6:38 to play in this one. And LSU leading 42-10, trying to run it out here in Tiger Stadium.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Get internet how you want it.
Been a gorgeous few days here in Baton Rouge, as LSU has made a change at quarterback here for the final 6.5 minutes. Is Ricky Collins, the redshirt freshman, getting some work. Young athletic quarterback. Of course, spent last year in that quarterback room with Jaden Daniels and Garrett Nussmeier as a true freshman. Came out of high school, rated as one of the top 10 players in the state of Louisiana. Got to be a thrill for him to suit up in an LSU uniform from right here in Baton Rouge. He was coached in high school by former LSU quarterback Marcus Randall over at Woodlawn High School.
Always valuable opportunities here for all these young guys, receivers, offensive linemen, quarterbacks, and one thing to get reps in practice, but to get real reps in a game, to check out the film, make those corrections during the week, and like you said, man, strap on the uniform and actually go out there and play some meaningful snaps.
And a first down run for Ricky Collins. Gain of 11 yards.
Ricky saw right there, soft linebackers, everyone dropping back into coverage about 10, 12 yards in depth, and said, you know what, let me get out of here and go get the first down with my legs. And the energy at the end of that run to keep his balance and fight to get the first down.
Clock under 5 minutes. Side handoff into South Alabama territory. Talking about Marcus Randall, who coached Ricky Collins in high school. Part of one of the greatest plays in college football history, the Bluegrass Miracle heave to Devery Henderson back in Lexington. We were just in Lexington last week talking about that play, watching some Jared Lorenzen highlights, just kind of flashing back to all that. Nice throw, first down again for LSU. Collins zips that one in there to Javen Nicholas. See what's coming up next Saturday, Missouri and Texas A&M at noon on ABC. Auburn and Georgia at 3:30. Well, the way it's going for Georgia, they're still trying to hang in there. They're down a dozen with a little over 9 minutes to play. It's not over yet, but they have not quit in Tuscaloosa. Collins dumps it off to the tight end. Pimpton.
They like their tight ends behind Mason Taylor on this roster, man. They're all big, physical, good catchers, and Pimpton goes up, and luckily does not land in any too awkward situation, but Trey'Dez Green as well at 6'7", 245. Mason Taylor 6'5", 255, and then Pimpton 6'6", 242. Really nice targets, athletic targets. Create some fun matchups with against linebackers and safeties.
Second down. Some nifty footwork there from Caleb Jackson to stay on his feet and pick up the first down. Orion Fortenberry brings him down, but gain of 7, and that'll move the chains. LSU put up 35 in the first half. South Alabama's hung around at 7-7 here in the second half.
Caleb Jackson, good fourth quarterback, especially behind this offensive line. 6 foot, 235, powerful, big guy.
So we will hit the 2-minute timeout. Good day to be a Tiger, looking for their 4th win in a row on an SEC Saturday night. (42-10), LSU out in front. Tigers trying to close this one out. Looking at a first down and 10. Ricky Collins getting some work. Juwan Johnson getting some work in that LSU backfield. They'll hand it to Johnson. He'll drive to the 20-yard line. The clock will continue to move. So your take on LSU? I mean, this will be their 4th win in a row, and now things get real serious after the off week.
Yep.
They get some time off, and then LSU's here. I mean, Ole Miss is here.
Yeah, and Ole Miss obviously with a devastating loss. You're going to look to get things right next week against South Carolina. But no, man, like, this is a really good football team, well coached, and it just comes down to these next 2 weeks. How you continue to get better with some of the youth on the defense, especially the secondary. When it comes to offense, though, I think you're only going to get better offensively when you add a Chris Hilton back into the mix as well.
Quick throw to the outside. That'll be a first down for LSU, and they can just take a couple of knees and get out of here unless they want to a couple more handoffs in. Some guys some work. Brian Kelly said at halftime, walking off the field with Ashley, that wanted to come out and have a decent, clean 3rd quarter and just kind of close this one out and get some momentum. Wasn't as electrifying as the first half. Nussmeier finishes up 26 of 39, 409, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. That handoff goes to Caleb Jackson. Meanwhile, you know, impressed with Gio Lopez at quarterback for South Alabama. Matter of fact, he'll finish tonight, Gio, with 135 consecutive pass attempts since his last interception. He's thrown 13 touchdowns over that stretch. His last interception was against Troy in early November last year. But a lot to like about that young man, Gio Lopez. And off left side is LSU closing in on 670 yards of offense. They had 3 games last year where they went over 600 yards. They had a high of 701 against Florida.
Go wait to Gio real quick. I know it's not the night they wanted to offensively, but man, if you protect the football, you're going to win a lot of games in that Sun Belt Conference. So impressed with both quarterbacks on both teams here this evening, but a great win for LSU, 42-10 as they head into the bye week.
Brian Kelly going over to shake hands with Major Applewhite, who comes back home to Baton Rouge, where he grew up, played his high school football. Not the trip he was envisioning, but got to see a lot of fans and friends along the way. They'll regroup down in Mobile, get ready for some Sun Belt football. Final score, 42-10. So for our entire crew, Dave Neal saying so long. We'll send you to football final. We'll have more in a moment, guys.
Survive and advance there for LSU, 42-10. Peter Burns, Chris Storm, Benjamin Watson. How about Garrett Nussmeier in that LSU Tigers offense?
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good. Threw for a couple of touchdowns. He operated the offense perfectly. I thought they start off with 4 touchdown drives, go, 6 of 9 or so for 3rd down. So, I mean, this is what you want as an offense against a South Alabama team. Come out, have a crisp, clean game, and got the run game going as well.
I promise you, when we hear from Brian Kelly, he's going to complain about the mistakes and the things that bogged down the offense in the second half. Garrett Nussmeier threw a couple interceptions. And remember when
he went after him for a little bit as well too. He was like, "What are you doing?"
We were at media days. He said, "Look, when he drives somebody else's car, he's a little reckless. With his own car, he'll be a little better." Well, a little reckless today.
Still a good victory. Let's get it back down to Baton Rouge here a little more.
All right, here with head coach Brian Kelly. And coach, an all-around solid win. The run game was really effective, though. Caden Durham, specifically, how special of a player is he?
Well, he's got breakaway speed, and that's obviously the big difference tonight. You know, the 2 early touchdowns, the one on the quick screen, and then obviously the counter where he took it to the house. Now, again, I'd like to play 4 quarters, but again, that's a good football team. They make it difficult on you. I thought Major had their team ready to play. You know, we didn't play a great 3rd quarter, but we finished out the 4th quarter the way I wanted to. So we're getting better. We knew that this was kind of the last game before we got into the heart of the SEC, and I thought it was probably our best performance relative to 1st quarter, you know, through the 4th quarter.
You've got a lot of young guys on your roster. Whit Weeks, I want to ask about him just because he's standing right next to you. How big of a future does a guy like Whit have?
Well, more than just the football part, he's starting to emerge as the leader and the guy on our defense that we can all rally about. And you saw what he did on the goal line. That kind of play is what we've been looking for. And so this defense is starting to shift over to his hands.
You mentioned that schedule that's upcoming, 7 straight in the SEC. What's going to be the biggest thing you guys work on in this bye week as you get ready for that gauntlet of a schedule?
Well, I think it's, for us more than anything else is getting, the big plays out of our defense, making sure that we eliminate some of those. We had a couple of big play passes today. And then offensively, we had a couple of key drops. We're not going to be able to get away with those things in the SEC. We got to play a little bit cleaner. But again, I'm happy with the win. I think our guys played with great energy. They were tough today against an opponent that sometimes you overlook. We didn't overlook South Alabama. We played them with the respect that we should have. And now we can move on, get the bye week, and to get ready for Ole Miss.
Coach, thanks so much. Congrats on the win.
You're welcome.
Dave.
Brian Kelly, always generous with his time and broke it all down for us. And he said it, like there were some things tonight, as good a night it was in the first half offensively, there are some things that they can't do in SEC games that will come back and haunt them a little bit as you see what's up in store for them. I mean, their next two, Ole Miss and Alabama, you got to play almost perfect football for that. And we saw him coaching up Nussmeier quite a bit here in the second half on some of the things he was doing. And you would expect him to be coaching up a guy, especially knowing what's in front of you.
Are killers in SEC games. So for Nussmeier, who's played a decent amount of football, he knows he has to be better than those two throws. And I anticipate he will be as LSU gets ready for the meat of their schedule.
So we talked about Harold Perkins and him not being available. And Whit Weeks had such a big game, had a couple of big hits. Greg Penn also had a huge game with 14 tackles. Whit Weeks had 9. Let's go back down and visit with Ashley.
Guys, here with Whit Weeks and Whit, a big loss defensively this week, obviously, with Harold Perkins Jr. What was the message to the group, maybe to you specifically, as you guys try to fill that void?
Yeah, definitely. It's going to take 11 guys to fill the void that he leaves because obviously he's a playmaker. So we really came out here, wanted to win this one for him, and it took 11 dudes to fill his missing piece for sure.
What a play from you, just being able to stop South Alabama at the 1-yard line. Just how were you guys able to be just so effective in stopping their run game all night long?
Well, we pride ourselves on stopping the run. We like to set a brick wall, and down here I saw the quarterback scrambling. I knew I had to go make a play. We came on the sideline before that goal line stop, and I told the guys we're not letting them get in the end zone. They are not scoring again on us, so we got the job done.
You were just talking to me about in 2 weeks Ole Miss coming here to Baton Rouge. Just how ready do you feel for this upcoming schedule in conference play?
Very ready. I mean, we got the gauntlet coming now, 7 straight SEC games, but that's what you look forward to right there. So I'm excited for the challenge, rest up this week, have some good practices, and get 2 weeks to prepare for them.
Whit, thank you so much. Congrats on the win.
Awesome. Thank you.
Guys.
You got to love Whit's accent out of Watkinsville, Georgia, just outside of Athens. Big night for Whit. They're going to need many more of those down the road. Nussmeier with a big night as well. He threw it for over 400 yards. LSU did what they needed to do, and they beat South Alabama 42-10. That'll do it from here in Baton Rouge. Let's get you back to the boys in the studio. PB?